Now we're taking a look at another really mysterious recording, which was captured by a man at a gathering that took place at a friend's apartment. Foolishly, the group decided to take part in a Ouija board session, and a few moments after, the following recording was captured. Nobody had any idea who this was, as the group of friends were all situated in the living room, which is why they believe that this was actually a spirit or a demon of some sorts. Maybe they opened a door and invited this thing in. Wouldn't be the first time after all that something like that happened, right? The next video was forwarded by Mania Trent, and it is said that in the following clip, a security camera in the Broadway Palace apartment complex in Los Angeles might have caught an actual ghost. User Pooperness has shared the following video. Apparently the user, who works as a security officer, noticed something really strange on one of the lower security cameras. In his own words, he tries to explain what he saw that night. "I recorded this from the CCTV at my job, and they fired me for it. I usually don't believe in ghosts, but this video is creepy. I recorded it around midnight on March 12th. It does look a bit strange, doesn't it? Of course you never know if it wasn't an insect or something, but many people commented on the fact that this ghost boy, or whatever it was, seemed to be walking towards the corner and then just vanished, which is really strange, wouldn't you agree? Are we looking at a paranormal incident here, or what was going on that night? The following video was captured by Iron City Paranormal during an investigation in the supposedly haunted North Country Brewing Pub in Slippery Rock, PA. They had set up several trail cameras this night in different corners of the old pub. Those cameras record for 11 seconds whenever they detect motion, the uploader states. Apparently, in this short clip, we can see something opening the door in the background. The team is certain that it wasn't any of their members opening the door, but are we maybe seeing a head here? I mean, how else could we explain this phenomenon? Pretty mysterious. The following video stems from the early 2000s and was recorded by a young man who swears to have moved into a pretty haunted apartment complex. He noticed strange noises in the midst of night and heard how several of his moving boxes were moved around right above his bedroom in the attic. But not only that, the cries of a woman could be heard ever so often, and that frightened him so much that he basically could not sleep without a nightlight anymore. Tonight the activity started up again, and he decided to document it this time. He placed his camcorder in the attic for a little bit, in the hopes to see what was going on. Of course, several items were being thrown to the ground, and after a little bit, he returned upstairs to pick up his camera again. But then, something seemed to close the attic door right behind him. After seeing something terrifying at the end of the attic, he can force the stairs back open and makes for a quick escape, and it would appear that he captured this creepy looking face once again. Is it safe to assume that this is the visage of the spirit that might be bound to this apartment complex? The man speculated that maybe even rituals had been held in there, causing this mischievous activity and the scare of his life. Whatever the answer, it's quite the nightmarish encounter. This short video stems from an investigation from urban explorer Tayangan, who was out with a friend the following night to investigate a supposedly haunted and currently abandoned hospital. Many people have spoken of former patients that can be seen roaming the empty hallways, and what sparked the further exploration of this particular hallway was the sighting of a headless person that they only got on camera for a few seconds. It does look like a regular, perhaps younger person, but their head is completely gone. And the two men state that they found no trace of anybody else in there after scouting out the floor intensively. So, what exactly was unfolding here that night, in your opinion? The following video was an eerie submission that was found in the paranormal section of Reddit. A user with the name Navy Friend states that a family member of his found a strange apparition on one of their security cameras in their home one night. They always felt that the house was haunted, as they heard loud bangs in the midst of nights, and found that a lot of kitchen items were moved around by the morning. The noises, of course, are creepy enough. However, what can be seen in the back of the room is even more frightening. The family believes that this is the ghost which is causing all of this activity. It looks like somebody with a weird hat on. But unfortunately, that's all that we can see really, as the rest of the silhouette is way too illuminated due to the floor light. It remains a mystery what exactly could be the origin of this haunting. The next case was featured by the Dark Dimension. They state that a viewer of theirs with the name Jocelyn Leo had sent them a rather disturbing capture. Apparently, the woman was on the way to a wedding that evening, and they were stopping at a local grocery chain to pick up a few things. The store is close to a crossing where many fatal accidents had occurred over the past decades, and the woman decided to take a picture for her Facebook friends while she was completely alone at the time. One of her Facebook friends pointed out that there seemed to be somebody sitting with her in that car. She was quite shocked, as once she increased the brightness of the image, there seemed to be a sinister-looking apparition sitting in the back of the car. Was it perhaps one of the lost souls that was involved in one of the many car accidents? But shortly after that, another video surfaced, from who is believed to be the woman's daughter. It was shared on their Instagram. The little girl also just wanted to take a video for her friends, but had to realize that once again, somebody else seemed to be sitting in the back of the car. Was it the same creepy spirit? This is certainly nightmarish and quite the traumatizing experience for sure. I would not be able to sleep in my own bed for a while. Now we dive into the bone-chilling encounters of Tim Saver, a dedicated security guard working night shift at a factory. Some of you may remember Tim from other videos. Tim's solitary night shifts have brought him face to face with the dark secrets lurking within the factory's walls. From the very beginning, he sensed an unsettling presence, and mysterious noises became his nightly companion. Tim found himself under attack, trapped in a terrifying dance between the real and the supernatural.
Whoa!
Night after night, Tim captured more chilling incidents. In one instance, an ominous roar echoed through the halls. Followed by a locker door swinging open on its own accord. These unexplained occurrences became his haunting reality. Drawn by mysterious bangs, Tim's curiosity led him to an abandoned warehouse, filled with an assortment of forgotten objects.
Hello?
Here the paranormal activity intensified.
Whoa!
A mannequin crashed to the floor, followed by the shattering of glass. The air grew heavy with a woman's cry and another spine-chilling roar.
What the Whoa! Hello? Who's there? Hello?
On one of the following nights, Tim embarked on a walk through the facility. It was during this fateful encounter that he came face to face with the apparition itself.
Hello?
My last night shift at the facility.
Tim decided to document his last day at the haunted facility for his loyal followers. As he bid farewell, little did he know, his night was far from over. In the same room where the mysterious figure had appeared before, Tim recorded another startling sighting. A woman's silhouette, more distinct than ever, sat in the corner, as the female figure locked eyes with him. The recording abruptly ended, leaving us in suspense. The fate of Tim and the truth behind his encounters remain shrouded in uncertainty. We may never know the full story, and the final verdict rests in your hand. The next video comes to us from South Korea, from a user called Tuxedo Brother. Tuxedo states that he is a paranormal psychic and visits many supposedly haunted locations on his channel in an attempt to communicate with spirits. In this particular video, Tuxedo is visiting an old house that has been left abandoned for many years. The house is in complete disrepair and pitch black, definitely creepy. Apparently, there had been quite a bit of paranormal activity here in the past, so Tuxedo was hoping to be able to hear from some of the spirits there. Although he doesn't seem to get a response from anything in the house, he does manage to get this interesting capture. While Tuxedo is filming a hallway, he suddenly notices movement in the doorframe to the right. When he zooms in, we can see that a large claw-like hand is reaching out from the dark room. The cameraman notices this as well and checks the room out. But it is totally empty, without anywhere for someone to hide. This must be paranormal capture, right? Or do you think there's another explanation? Pretty unsettling. The following video was uploaded by user Bunnytoes. She states the following: unknown voice, unknown entity, A couple of years ago, I gave my old iPhone SE to my grandkids. They like to take a bunch of pictures and videos, so I went through it to delete stuff to make sure they have space. I was going through their phone on Christmas Eve 2018 when I came across this video. This video shook me to the core though. After 2 years, this still creeps me out and I still think about this almost every day.
Let's change your butt. You smell like you poopy.
What do you guys think? Could they capture the spirit of their grandma here? Or was something else visiting from another realm? Maybe even a shadow person? The next really unsettling clip has been shared by Sue LCR94 and it appears to feature a creepy looking thing that was positioned behind her husband while he was holding their baby. All of this was documented by their baby monitor, and when Sue realizes what got captured, she decided to share it with her audience.
So my husband's rocking the baby to sleep, and does anyone see this creepy figure on the floor behind them? What is that? It looks like there's like legs and arms and a head. What?
Let's take a closer look at that sighting. What are we working with here? Well, the first thing that pops to mind is just smudge on the lens. But is it really? Other viewers of hers pointed out that it could also be the spirit of a dog, which of course is also likely, if it is paranormal after all. What do you see in that apparition? Is it anything paranormal? Or are we looking at something else here? The next clip was recorded by a driver one night who was on his way home and was taking a local highway. He didn't notice anything out of the ordinary up until this point, but when the incident occurred, he saw a dark flickering object just standing in the middle of the road. An object that had human-like features based on his reports, and it becomes quite apparent that even the other drivers saw it too. It is not that easy to make out, but you can actually see the outlines of a shadow person that just appears on the road, and the cars are doing their best to avoid impact, making them swivel quite a bit, especially the car on the left. What's weird is that the cars in front don't seem to react all that much. Maybe that's because this thing appears right after the cars in the front have passed it. The driver says that he did not see anything up until he was about to hit this thing, making him believe that it could have been an actual spirit that manifested. Could this be so? How else could anybody end up on the middle of the road like that? Strange. This was captured by a worker during a nightly shift. He was just moving some heavy machinery to a new construction site. He was by himself at the time and didn't see anything strange, but based on his reports, he heard a weird scream from the neighboring fields, which caused him to pull up the recording after his shift had ended. And he saw something quite unique. Some of his co-workers think that he might have captured a floating torso of a spirit, or maybe another form of creature. He was pretty baffled and had no explanation of what we are seeing here, especially since it just shows up for a few moments before it vanishes. Super weird. What do you think could have been captured here? How creepy. The following video was captured by a young driver who was on the way home. It was early in the evening and nothing seemed out of place at the time. He takes this road a lot and, based on his reports, there had never been any strange incidents taking place. Eventually he started speeding, and in his opinion, a guardian angel might have stepped in at this point in time. We see a person appearing in the middle of the road. Pretty scary, of course. The man notices him too late and tries to brake, and based on his reports, the car drove straight through him though, and no damage was done to the car, making him believe that this had to be a ghost. There was no trace of this person after the car came to a stop, and he stepped out to see if the mysterious person was okay. I mean, it's a bit weird how the car darkens up though, as if an impact actually had occurred. Pretty strange, isn't it? What do you think unfolded here exactly? The following case was featured by Breakman, and the uploader, Luis Rojas Gonzalez, told them that their security camera, which is mounted outside of their home in Lima, Peru, had started recording very late in the night, after motion had been detected from the neighboring road. What was really strange though is that the camera kept recording for almost an hour, as an inexplicable object seemed to be triggering the security system constantly. The man states that he doesn't believe this to be an insect on the lens. They had captured those in the past and they looked completely different. So the man was quite concerned that this could actually have been a paranormal incident. The object also seems to be throwing a shadow on the street at times, making it even less likely for them to think that this was just a fly. In the end, we can only speculate what exactly transpired here that night. And once again, thanks to Breakman for featuring this case. Very curious. This video was captured and uploaded by Danny Ramirez, who was parked at a truck stop on Highway 97 one night. The rest stop is located right next to a big forest area, and it shouldn't surprise anybody that legends speak of the mysterious Bigfoot creature that can be heard and sometimes even seen, as he is making it through the bushes and trees down there. After parking his truck, Danny noticed some pretty loud noises, only moments before starting this recording. And then, the following unfolded.
Started to hear stuff out here. I'm over here on 97 on the rest stop. And, I don't know. What the heck is that? absolute fuck is it? Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. And they say Bigfoot isn't real? I don't even want to stick my arm out the window.
Some people commented, stating that this perhaps was just a wolf or a bear, but for Danny it is pretty unlikely that this was just an ordinary animal. It's quite hard to say what really had caused these noises that night, and a little bit spooky, don't you think? Let me hear your explanation in the comments. The following videos were recorded by Alex E.K. Carolyn had been repeatedly awakened in the early hours of the morning by peculiar sounds, but never managed to capture them on camera in time. Determined to document these noises, she decided to feign sleep one night, hoping to catch them on video. However, she ended up capturing much more than she anticipated.
Facundo, levántate, por favor. Levántate.
In the dead of night, Carolyn is roused by the movement of her sheets near her feet. Then a horrifying noise grabs her attention, drawing her gaze to the door. Eerily, a figure with long dark hair briefly peers inside before swiftly retreating out of sight. In the next clip at 4 a.m., Carolyn is awakened by her dog's incessant and agitated barking. Curiosity compels her to investigate, leading to this unsettling recording. As Carolyn steps outside, initially nothing appears to be out of the ordinary. However, upon adjusting the video's brightness, we can see a shadowy figure that is standing and not moving once in the darkness. Carolyn notices it and hastily withdraws. In the following clip, Carolyn is relaxing in her bedroom when she hears strange noises emanating from downstairs. She grabs her phone and cautiously ventures to investigate.
Hola, gente. Otra vez el ruido ese. Poco estoy haciendo compañía hoy, pero ya estoy sola. Todavía se escucha un ruido de abajo. Y la verdad que no sé. Ay, por olor a algo ahí. Sora. Sora, subí. Ay, no, Dios santo. Nera.
As she's filming down from the top of the stairs, the camera seems to be out of focus all of a sudden. Then a pair of hands eerily come into view, moving in a sinister manner at the bottom of the staircase. Carolyn swiftly rushes down to check, only to find no one there. People were pretty unnerved after seeing this, and many people think that they could be real. And what are your thoughts? Is this something paranormal, or could there be another explanation? The next video was recorded by a young woman who states that she and her best friend were out the following night to prepare for an upcoming birthday celebration at midnight for her. It was supposed to be a short video commemorating a little celebration, but it would appear that something else stole the show. It would appear that a sinister figure was standing right behind the young woman, and it is unknown if this was just a spirit that was caught by chance. Or was this something entirely different? Whatever the answer, it's quite terrifying to say the least. This video was recorded by a CCTV camera of an older apartment building. It is mounted to the ceiling of the 13th floor, and many tenants have stated that they have heard quite a lot of eerie noises at night on there. Items have been moved around, and one tenant in particular swears that he saw a little kid running across the dimly lit hallway around midnight, only to disappear into the closed door to the staircase. Strange to say the least. In this particular clip, we can apparently become witness to some of these mysterious events. Take a good look. After a few minutes of inexplicable activity, we can see a pair of legs appear, seemingly walking slowly towards the camera. This apparently freaked the superintendent out quite a bit, and who can blame him? And only a few minutes later, this happened. It was clear that the building was dealing with something really creepy here. What exactly it was? Impossible to say, of course. Seems like the tenants of this building will have to keep those doors locked overnight, for sure though. Of course, we know that there's a lot of accidents occurring on our roads on the daily. These accidents, which very likely turn those places into areas of negative energy, claim the lives of dozens of people week after week. The following footage was taken on a toll road and recorded on a dash camera. Apparently, the driver caught something quite terrifying on his nightly drive. On the right side of the screen, we can see a translucent figure standing right on the shoulder of that road. The uploader of the recording mentioned that they did notice that person, but that their appearance looked pretty off. A grey skin tone and unnatural stance. And they joked that it might have been a ghost at the time. Upon reviewing the footage, they noticed that even the rear camera had picked that figure up. and it was just standing there. Many people agree that it does not look like an ordinary person, rather it appears to be of paranormal nature. But what do you think? Do you believe it's just a regular person? Or perhaps the spirit of someone who lost their life on this road? Or what other explanation could there be? This clip was apparently captured in Poland by a woman who recorded this unusual dark object hovering in the sky right above her. She parked her car immediately, pulled out her phone and started recording. At first she wasn't sure if this was perhaps just a strange bird.
What is that? It's just floating in the sky. This is some crazy stuff. What is going on? Weird? Oh my gosh.
The woman states that this thing kept floating in the sky for a while until it mysteriously vanished. It reminds me a bit of the weird Dark Knight satellite images and videos that surfaced a few years back. And I'm really not sure if this was just an animal or something otherworldly. What do you think? And then there was another strange incident that was documented by a man in Oregon this past November. The same sighting had been reported by different people around the world, and they all speak of the same mysterious illuminated objects that are moving independently and leaving glowing trails in the sky, excluding drones as possible cause for this particular phenomenon. At first we can see two floating lights, when out of nowhere a third one appears. The man recording is pretty certain that this also was the doing of an extraterrestrial life form. But if that's not the case, what else could it be? I'm lost of words here. This video was captured by a young man who was working a night shift in a local hotel in Mexico. He went outside the back door of the building to go for a quick smoke break. The door leads straight into the back alley that most of the time is pretty empty, especially in the really early morning hours. However, this night he noticed a huge lanky object to his left and started filming this encounter. He believes that we are seeing something from another dimension that wasn't supposed to be visible to the human eye. It was the first time he captured such a creepy event, and he isn't necessarily a believer in the paranormal side of things. But this night had him honestly question his beliefs.